LXII, TMG.
Not working
We're
anymore.
recovering from injury, but we're coming back to not back to.
Let's go to
move on to basketball. Playing basketball. First off, start off with Scottie Pippen. What's he saying? He's trying to sell a book, telling fibs. What's his book called?
I don't know. I don't care.
I'm gonna. if it's on Audible, I'm gonna listen to it.
Of course, it'll be audible.
I'll use one of my free tokens. No.
Just to talk about the Scottie Pippen thing. Do you know what this is? This is utter resentment and jealousy, and this has probably been stemming for years.
Jealousy
years,
no
years.
good. Oh.
Do you know the thing about Pippen is that he believes he will never. He believes that he doesn't get the credit for those Bulls ones that Michael's getting, and that it should be equally shared. Like they're due.
I don't think he believes that.
I think he does.
I think he should get more credit. Basically, in his mind, he sees it as so the way everyone propagates it is basically Michael Jordan 85%, probably Scottie Pippen. No, that's a lie. Michael Jordan 70%, Phil Jackson 15%. So we're at 85 now. Scottie Pippen 5 to 10 max, and the rest of them come together. And Scottie Pippen probably deserve at least a 20%.
I think Scottie Pippen's fuming at the way The Last Dance portrayed him.
Well, a lot of it was truthful.
It's true though. Hey,
Is it?
yeah, he did come out the game, and that's quitting on your team, especially in basketball. In football, no one cares. But we're not talking about it's 11 guys. In basketball, that's a family. You know how often you're traveling with? You quit on your family. It's not like he quit on his family in a key moment. He's lucky that they won that game.
He did. He wasn't called. He called Phil Jackson racist.
Yeah, and he took it back. Though. He walked that back. He walked that comment.
So okay, let's to dissect this properly. He's not complete. His primary motive here is to sell a book.
Yeah.
And he's selling a book, more sales. I think Scottie Pippen looks back at his career and thinks I didn't earn really enough money for who I was.
Mm-hmm.
He said, hey, they told him not to sign a contract.
And he signed it like a fool.
Yeah, so like,
He needs security for his back.
But to be fair, you don't know. You can get injured. I'm not going to fault him for that.
True.
Because money in the bank now is more valuable than money in the bank in the future.
True, NPV and all that.
Yeah.
Hashtag accountancy. But like, he signed that contract. He looks back at his career and doesn't, and I think he compares it to others, not necessarily MJ because MJ is MJ, but others, and thinks I didn't earn. You know, not only did I not get the credit that he thinks that I think I deserve. Speaking of Scottie Pippen, I didn't earn as much as certain players. He signed that contract, and because he signed that contract, the Bulls could have signed more players with more resources available. Compared to his output, what he was paid didn't parry up. So it's like when a star player takes a cheap contract for you to go, like some of the Golden State Warriors.
Shout out to Iguodala.
Exactly, and that I think he looks back and I think that's part of the resentment. There's definitely is resentment to MJ in some capacity. When he was saying, and I do believe LeBron over MJ, but when he was saying MJ over LeBron, you know that came
Did
from.
you ask that question at the start?
I didn't ask. I should have asked.
That's the question you should have asked because that bruh.
I'm leaning into that camp too. So
Nice one, but. He looks back in his career and he's disappointed because he made decisions that didn't work out for him. He signed a contract he shouldn't have, but you know what? You're right. Money in the bank is more valuable than hypothetical money in the bank later.
Guarantee.
Charles Barkley doesn't like him as well. Just to tell you.
Oh yeah. Charles Barkley will fist him up.
Yeah, he'll fist him up.
That's what Scottie Pippen, he dogged him out when they were at Houston together. Saying Charles
fist him
Barkley was unfit. He wasn't
Let me tell you
serious.
something.
He didn't have the winner's mentality.
Part of it's true, but
Let me tell you something about Pippen. Yeah, if Pippen didn't play for the Bulls, what would his legacy be? He wouldn't be a top 50 player.
but here's the
He would be fading in a way. We would remember him like what?
It
Big
depends.
Baby Davis or something like that.
No, come on.
No,
Big
Pippen,
Baby
no.
Davis.
I'm telling you this.
Come on, man. This guy's a lead defender.
No, people
Come
don't.
on.
No. Hey, I think defender doesn't make you known. That's what I'm
You know,
trying to tell you.
Big Baby Davis is a guy getting down for trying to fraud dental shit.
He'll be known like Glenn Robinson.
Nah.
Guys like that. You wouldn't know him.
No, Scottie Pippen
You
would've
wouldn't
been
know
an
him.
all-star.
You wouldn't know him like that. It'd be niche NBA fans boys that would have
He would have
known.
been an all-star. He wouldn't be Big Baby Davis. If you paid, it depends if you paid him up. If you paid him up with Hakeem, he's gonna win a couple of chips.
yeah.
But it would be a side man. Kenny
He'd
Smith winning.
He would have been the second man on the team, but that'd been Hakeem's team. If you paired him up with,
Okay, if he's the main man in your team, what's happening for you?
yeah, that's a nice team.
That's what I ask you.
He must never man. Just a nice team.
But here's the thing. Just before you carry on, here's the thing, right? If he didn't play for the Bulls, there's no guarantee, and I actually believe the Bulls won't win 6 rings.
They win. I think
they
the Bulls
win.
win one like two.
They don't three-peat twice. Scottie Pippen, like, bruv, the MJ Pippen clampers was a problem.
One Harper as well.
It was
And then
a
they
problem.
got
Dennis Rodman.
Was a problem, and it's not just when it comes to
Switchable.
when it comes to the clutch and you're playing through MJ. One thing that MJ didn't have to do is guard the opposing best wing by
And
force.
when he did, Magic killed him.
Look at the statistics. This is just otherwise.
Magic killed him in that first game.
His first game, Magic done well, but the rest of the
Because
series,
Pippen took him.
no. They kind of shared it a bit more. Just that Magic, Pippen took him more than he did in the first game.
There we go.
Look at the defensive numbers. Magic, they favour Jordan in that regard
So after
against
the first
Magic.
game.
No,
the first-
throughout the whole series.
In the first game, they killed him though.
he did, that's Magic. Magic can kill anyone.
Yeah.
When Jordan was guarding Magic throughout the series, when Pippen was guarding Magic throughout the series, the numbers favour Jordan more.
Who guarded Magic more?
I think Pippen after the first game. It was Pippen after the first
It
game.
was more 50-50 than you thought.
Pippen guarded Magic more, which is why I believe the numbers favour Jordan.
I have to look back at it to see who guarded more from what time.
Because in the
more
first
possessions.
game, this Magic was having a party. Well, he was killing MJ. The length, and it's all like the length is the size, is the vision.
The best way for me to describe this, right? If Pippen played with Magic instead of Jordan, you could be talking about Magic like you're talking about Jordan in many ways. Not completely, but in many ways. And I'm telling you, Pippen's a big part of the back-to-back repeats.
Well, some people do.
Magic ran into the Celtics though early in his
He had
career.
a
If
hard.
he had
hard.
If you had a Pippen, bruv.
If we had a
Pippen,
Hey,
but
hey,
six-
do you know
six
what?
was
Do you know what
happening.
guys overlooked the Pistons in that?
Well,
Pistons in
that's
that
true.
time.
Magic,
Yeah.
you know what
Their man-
you know who they overlooked the most? The 76ers with Julius Erving. In the 80s,
That's fair.
you had 4 teams that are top 10 teams. In the 90s,
How many did the 76ers win? They won
I
one.
think they won one and got to find
The
out.
Celtics were basically the Pistons. Yeah, Pistons ended the Celtics, beat the Lakers, and stopped the Bulls from the start. Do you know how many things they did? But obviously, they're just a stopgap team in that generation.
Yeah, but that's why Magic won 5, which is a lot. and Bird won 3.
Yeah.
But those teams, like I said, Celtics, the Lakers, the 76ers, and the Pistons. You have 4 teams you can make a case for them all
So
being top
they
10.
said the 80s.
80s is way more competitive.
Remember
Way
I
more
told you
competitive.
when I told you the 90s, yeah.
But I know that.
The 90s is a watered down. Is a watered down competition. There's a kind of expansion.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Players are more spread out, and there was a lot of the top guys from the last generation are they're coming to the
I mean,
end, and the new guys couldn't handle the new money. So Jordan's time was
It was
at the
before
right
Jordan.
time, and he's so lucky.
Jordan beat what was in front of him at the end of the day.
Yeah, he did.
And he was a bit fortunate. I mean, Hakeem came back when Jordan wasn't really there, and Hakeem swept up everything. Hakeem, I think, got to finals early in his career.
That
in
94,
80s.
is it 93?
There you
Was it
go.
94? 94 season is one of the greatest single
Yeah, it
seasons
is. But
ever.
in that 90s, after the Lakers fell down, after the Pistons, they fell apart. I mean, you have to give credit to the Jordan and the Bulls for forcing them to fall apart.
Finally.
Other teams there was only the Houston Rockets. MJ and the Houston Rockets didn't even play against each other. Utah Jazz, Scar Malone, and Stockton weren't as good as Scott Pippen and MJ collectively. Who else was there? Got Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. They weren't as good. Charles Barkley and those Suns, they weren't as good. So MJ, he won what was in front of him. He beat everyone, but he wasn't winning the chip in the 80s. Even though stuff MJ's the good, the 80s were where the real competition was at.
And he got swept.
That's true. But back to the Pippen conversation. He's chatting a lot of shit in the media right now to sell the book.
Of course.
100%.
And he's got backers in the media as well.
Yeah,
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some little backers.
Yeah.
But obviously, the guy that I ride with, talking about Pippen, Skip Bayless. And Skip Bayless, he was there. He just says that Pippen is a guy that he wouldn't even be known if it wasn't for Jordan.
Okay, that's not right.
No, but
That's
it's not right. It's not right. But he doesn't believe he's a top 50 player. And if you were to do the top 50 player right now,
Yeah.
is Pippen a top 50 player?
Based on what? Everything? Or just
And everything.
He's in the championships. He's in the championships, of course he is.
Exactly.
The championships, obviously, they will give it. But there's 50. I think there's 50 players better than him.
But you know what? Here's the thing. You may be right. Top 50 players of all time.
Yeah.
You may be right, but I don't think that's something to discredit Pippen for, because
But that's one of the reasons that he feels in his heart that he doesn't feel like people
Wait.
believe that he's.
You know, I think he still is. because he still has. Yeah, he has an outside argument to being the best defender of all time. Outside argument. I think he got like 10 defensive.
Was he ever defensive player of the year?
He didn't ever win that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but he was up there a lot.
I got a lot of defensive player ahead of. I got Prime Dwight over him. Hey, arguably,
there's 4 guys I put over him.
I got Prime Dwight. I got Rodman.
There's Rodman you could put over him. There's Hakeem. There's Bill Russell you could put over him. The defensive win shares favour him immensely, even though he's watered down error.
And I think Giannis has an argument.
We'll see what Giannis does. Actually, there's those 3 guys you can put over him. The other guys, even those 3 guys, you can still debate.
As an on-ball defender, Pippen might be the greatest on-ball defender
But the thing
of all
with Pippen
time.
as
I'm
well-
not going to even deny that.
No, not that. Pippen was one of the original point forwards.
There we go.
Yeah, true.
You know,
There we go.
rebounding, defending.
No.
He could score a bit. Pippen's issue is that he just wasn't clutch. He doesn't have a major moment on an offensive end.
He hasn't got sexy moments in basketball offensively,
What-
like
what-
Jordan.
He doesn't have the memorable moments. He doesn't have a shot. Doesn't have even defensive. I don't think he
And
even
the
had a
95
massive
season.
block or anything like that.
The 95 season, he was awful, to be honest. He was
I mean,
not good.
the season before that was great. But
Was he playing with an injury?
Was he playing with
95?
No,
No,
95 is
no,
when
no,
Jordan came
no,
back.
no,
Yeah.
94, he was good though. They were great. They were great in 94.
He was up
They,
there
they were
for
like
MVP.
one bad call away. They keep saying from going to the conference
Yeah.
final.
You know what? He's trying to sell a book, and who am I to stop him from trying to go get his money? Fair enough, but he is chatting quite a bit of waffle cakes. He's chatting quite a bit of waffle cakes. But one thing I won't say is I'm not. Skip will defend Jordan.
So then, what on back?
Skip.
But
will sell
even
all the
speaking
sons.
there, a lot of them were saying it though. A lot of them were against Pippen, and they're saying that right now the relationship between Jordan and Pippen is damaged beyond repair.
Probably.
And because do you know what happens as well with history? The victor tells the story.
Yeah.
And
So the victor got the spoil.
yeah, and then
just that. But what is
continuously Pippen's legacy, he's just damaging it more and
break
more.
down
and
the
more.
wording of history?
This is past.
No, history.
His story. Yeah.
His story. And his story, and his being Jordan, is gonna be his story. When you're the winner,
No one
So-
cares. If Pippen was to release a documentary about his years, right now, would anyone care?
I mean,
I would watch it.
I would watch.
You watch it, but
Basketball purists should watch it.
That's
you'll
true,
watch it.
purists.
You'll watch it for the purists. But the common denominator. Remember this, yeah, Jordan. Yeah, this is one thing about the last dance. It came at like the most
time.
opportune moment.
Yeah,
We're
it
in
was
a
at home,
lockdown. There's nothing to watch.
starving for content.
Starving for content.
Yeah, they
And
released
he
it early
makes-
for
We
that.
started to break that down, you know. I watched that
Yeah.
again and break that down.
So
That's good
and
content.
and he was releasing it once every week, keeping everyone in their toes, and it was a discussion every single week. Every week was a discussion. You had man like Horace Grant coming out to defend himself that he wasn't getting bullied by Jordan.
You can't eat.
He can't eat. Can you imagine? Every week there's
Imagine
a
a man
discussion.
telling you can't eat.
He was saying that it was bullying
Lord
Scott
have
Burrell.
mercy.
I believe it though. I 100% believe that.
He told you.
100%.
Horace Grant's not trying to hear that though. He's not trying to hear.
Of course, you don't want people to think that now, but 100% believe that happened, bro.
And I believe Jordan said it, but I don't know if he actually did.
But if you see the footage, Jordan was a mean don. What he said to Jerry Krause, got the fat pills.
He was obsessive.
He was obsessed.
But the thing is that there's these anecdotal stories about Jordan. There's not, which is media sexy.
That's
You know what I
what's
mean?
happening. LeBron doesn't have those stories.
Yeah,
At the moment now.
at the moment, but it adds to the legend of Jordan. And Pippen, he shouldn't, but I believe he compares himself to Jordan in some way. He might think I have 6 rings too. You know what I mean? But you know you don't have the MVPs, but I have 6 rings too. So
That's a sticking point.
that's a huge sticking point.
No
But
MVPs.
he shouldn't make that comparison. But he doesn't have those stories. The league. Here's another point. The NBA pushed the marketing, but this pushed the marketing of Jordan, man. Like
They
Jordan
do,
was,
but they do it for LeBron as well.
yeah, but much more so back then.
But they
than-
had
than
to
they do
because
now.
that's okay. The originators of the league. Come on. As a purist, you know this.
Yeah, of course.
It's Bird and Magic. They brought NBA back because
Yeah.
you know the NBA's image was in the doldrums here.
yeah.
So those two brought it back, and then then after that they pushed it to a whole new sphere with Jordan. It's
Yeah,
unfortunately for the betterment of basketball, something like that had to happen. You have to push a narrative. It happens in a lot of sports.
Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So if they pushed the Jordan narrative, and for Jordan to be successful and be so dominant at that time, and when basketball was coming to the main stage, think about it, Barcelona '92 really pushed basketball
Muhammad Ali boxing.
to a new sphere. Then
Here's a
that's
question
it.
for you. Do you feel guys, not just in the media, or guess in the media, but ex-sports stars and guys in the media are afraid of going against Jordan?
I think Jordan's persona and aura
It's domineering.
is domineering. Not so, and because he's not active on social media, it also adds to that. Like for LeBron, for example, like we compare him to the person that he's very accessible. It's not like if LeBron says something on a day, it's like LeBron just says something. Got guys like Ennis Cantor parring him. Can you imagine that? Do you think someone was coming up and telling Jordan and parring him and being open about it? Like they par LeBron on a daily. LeBron is telling Jimmy Butler in the NBA finals in that game they lost. He's telling Jimmy Butler, "Oh, it's bad news for you." What did Jimmy Butler? He goes and beats him, and a man they have that story. That's not good. That's not good for LeBron. LeBron shouldn't be doing that. Just stick to what you do. LeBron is good when he's angry.
You still haven't answered my question. You think guys?
They're scared of him. 100%.
100%.
Affects their bottom line.
The thing is, yeah, it does. And
I don't think it affects the bottom line.
I think it does. MJ has his MJ's in a lot of rooms. He's in a lot of rooms.
He's hella rooms.
He's got his own trainers, man.
Hella rooms.
Where Jordan right now?
I've got to say, you know when people say the powers that be, MJ's very close to that.
And you think?
Yeah.
You think MJ's a power that be? If he was,
I'm not
the
saying
Hornets
he-
will have a championship.
Huh?
If he was, Hornets will have one championship.
Hey, what's the story? The LeBron MJ stuff keeps his name in the
Are you sure?
media round.
If MJ was
Sells
really
more
in the room,
shoes.
he'll keep LeBron from winning another championship again.
That's why he brought out the book. You know, having come to, you heard the term controlled opposition.
That's why he brought out the documentary. Because LeBron was starting to say stuff like, from the 3-1 lead, I'm the greatest player ever.
Yeah,
Which if we dissect the 3-1 lead, one day we need to dissect it. Like, let's do an episode. We watch the game and let's talk about that 3-1 lead, that like epic sports moments. We need to do an episode on that. Yeah.
So you mentioned a lot of things.
Sit down.
The last dance.
Cleveland Warriors one.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I want to just talk about that for the whole episode. We can go game by game because in that one he had the most breaks of NBA history. For that 3-1 comeback, it's a lot of breaks. Because if Draymond had like a fool.
What happened the year before though?
The year before,
When
guys broke their legs.
Kyrie and Kevin Love injured. I think that balances out.
And that's one of LeBron's greatest achievements. I think that's more of a better achievement than the 3-1 because in that one he was the best player.
We'll touch on that. We'll draw it back.
Yeah, draw it back.
Yeah, I thought MJ is very close to being part of the powers that be. Yeah, that's how I think how much control he has.
I think LeBron's trying to do that as well.
I'll say this, right? And let me use language that's palatable for palatable. There's he's very close to the powers that be. He has his foot in a lot of doors. It's not good for you to go against MJ in the media, in my opinion. That in a way that diminishes. Like Scottie Pippen has his book. I think we may never see Scottie Pippen as a commentator on NBA TV. You know,
Yeah, but
do you remember the jump?
Yeah, he's not in it anymore.
Yeah, but I think that's now gone. Kind of like the way he went for Paul Pierce as well. For other
Paul Pierce around is stupid.
I think you might see Scott Pippen on Fox.
What?
Slogan?
I think you might see Scott Pippen on Fox.
Nah.
Fox, you should take guys.
Nah. Colin Coward is not even picking him, fam.
Look. A year from now, I don't think we'll see Scottie Pippen on many shows like that. I think there's a reason this book is coming out.
Do you know what? Okay, let's delve into Pippen. Yeah, Pippen's issue. Yeah, and it all started when he gave that Dan Patrick interview.
Yeah.
When it was like, is he like? They've come to the conclusion that he might not be mentally well.
He's had a tough year, to be fair.
He had a tough year. He lost. He lost one of his children.
Yeah.
He's had a very tough couple of years.
And then obviously the ongoing news about his wife.
I forgot about that. Man. Down bad.
Future man Joss.
Yeah. So it's been tough for him, and it's coming across as if he's like they're saying that he's on stuff. Yeah, inferring certain media people have been saying that he's on stuff. He's like he's not mentally well. So maybe I think Kay is right. They like to the point they might even just start to rub him out of like history. The same way that Kyrie's not on the top 75 list.
Put it this way, man. If I see him on an interview with Vlad, I won't be surprised.
It might be.
Vlad TV.
That's where he's going, fam.
We get a lot of views, eyeballs there. If it's on live TV, ESPN will put up, they'll talk about that.